Harris has more experience than the Trump-Vance ticket combined.
We are about to nominate somebody who is the most experienced person for the job.
Biden is known in his career as being one of the best eulogy givers at funerals, and now they're making him come and give his own.
You know, we living in the last days when evil is portrayed as good and good is portrayed as evil. You know, we living in the last days when the devil is not even hiding anymore. Like, these folks ain't even hiding.
Sandela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Democrats kicked off day 2 of the DNC convention with what can only be described as a disastrous rendition of the national anthem. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let me get your guys' thoughts on this.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad strides we hailed at the
Wow. Wow. Are you kidding me right now? What do you guys think about that? Drop your comments down below. Oh, man. True patriotism at its finest. This woman is spot on saying it is absolute evil and demonic for Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party to have abortions going on right outside of the DNC. This has been a hot topic across the intrawebs.
When evil is portrayed as good and good is portrayed as evil. You know, we living in the last days when the devil is not even hiding anymore. Like, these folks ain't even hiding their demonic ways even more. When I call the Democrats demons, y'all look at me crazy. When I call that lady a demon and I tell y'all she's the devil, y'all trying to make it seem like I'm crazy. But to be doing abortions, abortions on wheels is wild. But to be doing abortions, and mind y'all, I've never had an abortion. I'm for people doing what they do. Don't ever take any one of my videos as me telling you what to do. I'm a stranger. Do what you do. You have to answer for the decisions you make. You have to live with the decisions you make, not me. Do what you do. However, holding your conference and your rally to be the first female president of the United States and to be doing abortions outside of that conference is insane. Can't nobody, I don't care how y'all try to flip it, toss it, turn it, you cannot tell me that is not demonic. Although I've never had an abortion, I know people who have had an abortions, and not one person has ever told me that it was not traumatizing. Not one person have ever told me that they've done that and did not cry. Now, I do know some people on multiple abortions, and I feel like maybe you can become used to it or numb to it or whatever. I'm not talking about that. But to be doing such an act around thousands of people, around chaos, to be giving speeches, knowing that babies are being killed outside.
That was one of the key components of the DNC. Hillary said, Kamala Harris cares about families and kids. Why is there a bus of Planned Parenthood outside of the DNC? Why? Why is that a thing?
On a bus, a procedure like that, you cannot tell me that that is not demonic. You cannot tell me that is not the devil written all over it. Folks going to a clinic and doing what they do, coming out who they are, whatever. But to do that around such chaos, to do that on a bus, anybody with just sympathy and a heart would just know that that is not right, bro. I don't care. Like, I am, and my stance on abortions, like I said, I've always been do what you do. But this election and the way y'all brains have turned into absolute mush because you are in that much of a hurry to get rid of a baby that you created. Don't come into my comment sections with the technicalities. I know about the technicalities. I'm not talking about that. Thinking a woman who who does not have biological kids of her own has your best interest at heart when it comes to your biological child. You just for your brain to turn into mush to think that you're fighting for your rights as a woman when you are single-handedly you don't even have the courage to actually fight for your rights as a woman. You don't have to have courage to ask these people what a woman is, and they tell you a woman is whoever says they're a woman. Y'all are so comfortable in your sin that y'all are actually willing to let all your discernment and your common sense go straight out the window. If you do not think that that is absolutely insane, if you do not see how they are absolutely trying to control the population, control everything, control your body, like I honestly cannot believe this is life.
100%. What do you guys think about that? Drop the comments down below. Let me know about that. This is shout out to Savannah Hernandez, who was earlier today at day 2 at the DNC, was outside the Planned Parenthood mobile clinic that patients were actively walking in and out of. So far, she had saw 1 male and 3 female patients enter the truck. Patients pre-registered to receive abortion pills and vasectomies with Planned Parenthood, filling out their appointment slots.
It's like, why just not create the right seats? All they had to do was increase the zone where the journalists could work and set the seats back a little further, and then everyone would have been fine.
That right there is Frida Fetus, I believe, the mascot for the DNC. It's an IUD. Craziness. Now, this is JP Pritzker giving a backhanded compliment to the DNC and the Democratic Party. Biden's press secretary was asked, what has Kamala Harris done? What has she done as VP? She was in Senate for a second before she was vice president and border czar, where she oversaw the largest surge of illegal border crossings in history. And she couldn't name a single contribution that Kamala Harris contributed to or as an accomplishment as VP. And this is JP giving a little backhanded compliment to the Dems.
So when we bid on the convention, we knew this would be a big economic boost for the city and also a way for us to show off the beauty of Chicago, particularly the summers in Chicago, better than any other city in the country. We are about to nominate somebody who is the most experienced person for the job, Kamala Harris, and is going to make history. The first woman president, the first African-American president, the first AAPI president.
What about Barack? What about Barack Obama? I got to rewind this again.
AAPI president, the first African-American, Harris, to nominate somebody who is the most experienced person for the job.
Look at his smirk. Giving this backhanded compliment to the Dems.
This person for the job, Kamala Harris, who is the most experienced person for the job, Kamala Harris, and is going to make history. The first woman president, the first African-American president, the first AAPI president. And I think someone with her perspective and life experience being in the Oval Office is going to uplift the entire country. It's honestly, I don't think we've seen anything like this in my lifetime. Maybe Barack Obama getting elected, which was an amazing thing too. And so I'm thrilled. I mean, I just 3 months ago, I think people were maybe not so excited on either side, by the way, the Republicans or the Democrats. And now I see people coming out who I don't think ever got involved in politics before.
He said that she's going to be the first black president. Oh, man. Here is Republicans continuing to expose the truth of Biden's exit on CNN. Biden, throughout his career, has been known to give, I guess, phenomenal eulogies. He has a book of eulogies that he's given at funerals. And it's funny because on CNN, they said that now he's giving his own eulogy.
His moment tonight. It's his moment, yeah.
Yeah, Biden is known in his career as being one of the best eulogy givers at funerals, and now they're making him come and give his own career.
He has
eulogy.
files of every eulogy.
Yeah,
he's ever
and now they're making him give his own eulogy at this convention. I mean,
You have to give when it's best that you get to give your own.
yeah, I guess I am anxious to see how they handle it. It's a sticky wicket. I mean, he was bullied out of this race after 52 years of service to the Democratic Party, and it wasn't all about his age. He was unpopular. He was going to lose. It was Afghanistan. It was inflation. It was immigration. And now, and he had to be dragged out by the fingernails. I'm sorry. This is not, so he's not here in a happy moment. Okay. I know that this yarn that's being spun in this hall that he was popular and selfless and handing on. No. It is the opposite. And everybody knows it. And yet the Democrats are engaging in this theater of looking into cameras and saying it. So it's not true.
I 100% agree with this. They basically pushed Biden out. He was running for a second term, and they said, nope. Pelosi, the Dems said, nope. No, Joe, you ain't doing this. And I get it. He was no longer fit for the role, but the way that they're pushing him out, it's sad. It's sad and hilarious all in the same way. It is a political swan song, if you would, for Joe Biden.
This is it. And he spent an awful lot of it in almost angrily defending his record in office and making his claims about the things he'd achieved and so on. There was not any evidence that he was aware that a great many people in this country had lost confidence in him and had a long time ago. But there he goes. Party relieved, but he's done.
And we all know with the push out of Joe is the push out of Jill.
And weeks ago, when I saw him dig deep into his soul and decide to no longer seek re-election and endorse Kamala Harris.
He did none of those things. If he was endorsing Kamala Harris, he would stay throughout the DNC. He flew in, went to the DNC, and then flew back to a beach house. He didn't dig deep. They dug deep for him and threw him in. What do you guys think about that? Although DNC night one was a snooze fest, to say the least, there was, to me, at least one touching moment that showed the human side of Joe Biden and the family. Regardless on whatever he has done, this was a very touching moment when his daughter introduced Joe, and I just felt that he's upset, he's sad, and it sucks. It sucks for Joey B.
President of the United States, Joe Biden.
This was a touching moment. I gotta mute it because of the music, but look at Kamala. Look at him. That sucks for Joe, man. He pulled it together very well in the beginning of the speech. They must have jacked him up with that Joey B juice. What do you guys think about that? For me, it showed a very human side of Joe, and he's clearly upset. He's turned his back on the Democrats because they stabbed him in the back. They stabbed him in the back. Now we're going to jump into Kamala Harris isn't talking about policies because she doesn't have any policies. Letting over 15 million illegal immigrants come into the United States, talking about free healthcare, banning gas, yada, yada, yada. Let's go ahead and jump into Kamala's vibes at the DNC night one.
I think the reason that Kamala Harris isn't saying anything about policy is not because she doesn't have policy positions, is because she does have them. They are excruciatingly clear and they are excruciatingly bad. Let's start with the border. She's the border czar. She's in favor of amnesty for 15 million illegals in this country who she let in. Worse than that, she is in favor of gold-plated health care for all of those illegals, and she wants it paid for with taxpayer funds. So no wonder she doesn't want to talk about her plans. No wonder she doesn't want to talk about her plans to ban gas and diesel in this country. Think what that would mean for working people, what that would mean for farmers, what that would mean for food prices. So yeah, she's out there proposing Soviet price controls because her own policy and agenda are bankrupting the American people.
Trump's press secretary here in this video absolutely nails it. There was a congruent theme at the DNC. They were saying, we don't want to go back. Don't go back. We don't want to go back. Back to what? Low inflation, low gas prices, good economy, secure borders, peace in the Middle East. What don't we want to go back to? And she absolutely nails it right here.
Was like watching an alternative reality. There was no mention of the migrant crime epidemic that has been allowed to transpire because of Kamala Harris's job as border czar, her open border policy. There was no mention of the record high inflation crisis caused by the Harris-Biden administration's economic policies. It's almost like the Democrats want the American people to forget that Kamala Harris has been vice president over the past 4 years and is wholly responsible for the economic, immigration, and foreign policy crises that we face in this great country. And, you know, the Democrats kept saying last night, we don't want to go back. Go back to what? 1.4% inflation, $1.50 gasoline, peace in the Middle East, the most secure border in history. Those are the facts of the Donald Trump administration, and millions of Americans do want to go back to those times.
Now, I don't know if you guys caught this when Joe was on stage. The crowd erupted. They were saying, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. And, you know, it was Joe's responsibility to say, no, thank me and thank Kamala. Thank me and thank Kamala. And then there was a quick shot of Nancy Pelosi just looking sour, like she ate a bunch of sour candy. And here is an interview with Nancy Pelosi talking about the coup. You know, she mentioned numerous times on different interviews that she didn't call anybody. I'm sure they called her to help push Joe out. And this is why Joe is turning his back on the Dems, because they stabbed him in his back.
You know what?
Have you talked
I
to him?
have
Is
to
my
do
only
what I have to do.
Right.
He made the decision for the country. My concern was not about the president. It was about his campaign. You know what?
No, he didn't.
Have you talked
I
to
have
him?
to
Is my
do
only
what I
He did not make that decision. Now, here's a fantastic still image of Hillary Clinton. DNC night one mentioned Trump 147 times. The economy was mentioned 27 times. The border, the most out of control border of all time, was mentioned 8 times. Crime was mentioned 6 times. Prices were mentioned 5 times. Inflation was mentioned 3 times.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Trump. Trump.
Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? These people are sick.
This, to me, one meme of the night for me after scrolling on X. This one meme of the night for me with AOC and this parody right here.
Meine Arbeit für richtig Geld.
ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt deine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie meine
Oh man. Oh man. What do you guys think about the chaos that's going on at the DNC? Let me know. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one.